Welcome into another Prize Picks Props video. We have Taco Tuesday. Let's go ahead and get into the top picks. Going to start off with a quick recap and then get into the picks for you guys. So I know this isn't going to be yesterday. Okay, this is going to be on Sunday. I didn't have a video out yesterday because while I was working on some site updates that I'll touch on in just a second, and also a tool. I do want to touch on this one because I have been noticing a big edge with fantasy score, and that's kind of why this prop from the bet of the day on Sunday was able to hit. Jalen Brunson was really disrespected on underdog. It was like a 2-point difference that day. And then also Klay Thompson, it was about a 1-point difference. And so they were both able to get their over. And then we were able to pair that with two favorable props that were being called out on the 9-to-5 cheat sheet. And I'm calling this out because one, you can see a little bit of a stack. We used kind of what was the free square a little bit with Jalen Brunson, projected free square with Brunson, and then ran out of stack. But also we are going to have a very similar prop today where there's a big difference in fantasy score between the prop on underdog and prize pick. And I'll start with that pick, but real quick, I do want to just touch on one other thing. So I mentioned why I didn't make a video yesterday. I just had my head down. I was working on the website and then some tools as well. One thing that I implemented in there is going to be the 9-to-5 membership overview tab. And so if you've ever had a question about what goes into the 9-to-5 membership, you can click on this tab and kind of get a overall view of kind of what goes into it. So I just want to bring that up. So I do want to call it the discrepancy that we are getting between prize picks and underdog. So if we sort by prize picks minus underdog here, this column, we'll see that, you know, for the most part, Prize Picks is not really overvaluing or undervaluing anyone or overvaluing anyone too much compared to underdog. But if we flip that, we'll see that we are getting kind of a big edge there with a few players, Al Horford and then also Bogdanovich. And so we do know that the Hawks are going to be without Jamal Murray tonight. And so with that, I do think we can expect Bogdanovich to really step up. And if he is someone that is going to get 30 minutes or so, and let's just actually check out that projection. Yeah, he's projected to get 32 minutes. And so to me, I know it doesn't exactly show that here, but if he does get 32 minutes, I do see him being able to get the over fantasy score. Now, I will say that, you know, if we just pull in what his average sportsbook line would suggest his projection should be, it does have it set at 26.98, and his per 36 production is only 32 fantasy points per 36 with Murray off the court. So it's not a lock and load, but just on paper, it does seem like it's going to be the best prop bet that we are getting today. And then there are two kind of interesting baseball props to me today as well. Well, actually one, they just bumped up the one that I was going to touch on. It was going to be Martin Perez. But we got Luke Weaver here, pitcher strikeouts over 4.5. And we can see his projection is 5.3. That's already a good start. Minus 133 to get the over. And if we look at his projection, about 53% chance to hit. This is where we're kind of using both EV betting, but also kind of making our best educated decision as possible as well. Let's go ahead and talk about why I like this one. So Weaver has had one start, and in that start, he pitched 6 innings. To me, that's already going to be appealing. Now, in that game, he did have 8 strikeouts as well. Already appealing there as well. He's going against a Cincinnati or a Texas team that over their last 3 games, they've given up the 4th most strikeouts to opposing pitchers. And so as long as he is going to be pitching around 6 innings, maybe 5 innings or so, I like his chances of getting 5 strikeouts. And then just as an FYI, PrizePicks does not have that as a prop just yet for some reason. Don't really know. And then for what it's worth, we do know as well that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to be without Kyle Anderson, who Kyle Anderson has actually been sneaky productive. And so with that, who do we expect to step up? Well, once again, looking at the per 36 production with those players off the court, and I say players, Jaden McDaniels, I'm including in there as well, but Kyle Anderson, it doesn't really suggest that anyone's going to get a significant bump in production. Now, to me, with it being the playoffs, I do expect Rudy Gobert to get around, you know, the 39 minutes that he's gotten 2 out of the last 3 games. And so if he does get that, it's going to be difficult for me to see him not being able to get his over fantasy score of 35.5. And, you know, maybe with Kyle Anderson off the court, that opens up a couple more rebounds. And if we scroll down here, we can see that based off the average sportsbook line, they are valuing him as a 40 prize pick score tonight. But just looking at his projection there as well, we can see it is tight, 35.5. Don't exactly love that, right? And then just touching on those two Boston props that are a little bit underpriced as well on prize picks. In terms of fantasy score, we got Al Horford and Jaylen Brown. Let's touch on those two because I do kind of like one of them a little bit more than the other, but they're both decent. So the one that I like a little bit more than the other is going to be Al Horford over his fantasy score on prize picks. Okay, 25.5. We can see the first 2 games against Atlanta got the over, barely missed getting the over against Atlanta. And I would say the reason why is it's pretty obvious to see, went 0 for 2 from threes, and that is literally the only shot attempts that he had. Now he did have 11 rebounds and 5 assists, which helped make up for it. 2 steals as well. That helps as well. you just don't imagine him not being that involved in the offense again. That's strange. Only 0 points, only 0 points while getting 34 minutes. That is just strange. So I do kind of expect that to get corrected tonight. And, you kind of expect him to make a 3-ball as well. And then with Jaylen Brown, he is also someone that is gaining a ton of run. And I guess with Dejounte Murray off the court, I guess the thought process would be, a little bit easier of a matchup there. I'm assuming. I guess I could buy into that, although it's just they're so deep at the guard position that really any one of them can have a good game. And I just want to see Malcolm Brogdon's fantasy score. Yeah, probably not touching that. And then one last one that I want to touch on as well. I do still like Jamal Murray over fantasy points tonight as well. We like the last game against Minnesota. Played 41 minutes, played a lot of minutes, went 8 for 21, did not have a good night shooting and was still very close to getting over his fantasy score. In this matchup thus far, he's gotten the over 3 straight times prior to that game. His assists were, only at 5 as well. Slight adjustment for that. Didn't get a steal as well. And he had 3 turnovers. So I bring that up because if he's going to have 3 turnovers, we need to have a steal to kind of combat the 3 turnovers points wise. But if we look at it, still, I wouldn't say close to getting the over there, but, having a poor night shooting, not getting a steal, it kind of makes sense. But if he's going to be playing that many minutes, this is basically a point per minute, slightly less than that. He's getting 39. I don't mind that. But just as an FYI, here's his projected fantasy points. We can see that is very tight there. So not a big difference there in terms of projection versus prop line. And so getting into today's pick, these are the ones I'm liking the best as it sits right now. Now this can change throughout the day. It is a Tuesday. Okay. Boards are tight on Taco Tuesday. That's what they do. And once again, like over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, I had 2 really good days. And that's simply because the board is better. We're getting better odds randomly. Boards are a lot tighter on Tuesday. And so I would say the edges that we are getting here are smaller. Okay. It's not as bad as like last week's Taco Tuesday. I do feel like decent with these ones, getting 3 out of the 5 to hit, but also I'm hoping for some better props to pop up before the tacos come out, or I guess as the tacos are out, so we can pair some better like EV based bets with those. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. And if that doesn't happen, these are the ones I feel comfortable with using in a pinch. And so that's kind of the issue as it sits right now. But that's all I have for you guys for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the coverage. Let's have a good slate. Good luck today on your tacos. Have a good slate. And as always, let's keep cashing.